Hello, and welcome to this short video on C# Made Simple. This lesson is on classes, conceptualizing objects. Now, this is a visualization exercise for those who may have a little difficulty conceptualizing the data behind of a list of objects. I, and most people, can conceptualize an array or list of a number of strings, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and even a two-dimensional array, which is like a spreadsheet that we're all pretty familiar with. But for some reason, visualizing objects, like they were somehow this three-dimensional thing, were different. I just couldn't get my head around it. It was as difficult to comprehend as like the square root of an elephant. I just had this big problem understanding what a list of objects were that weren't just names or addresses or something like that. So after thinking about it, I realized that since all objects are just a one-dimensional list of properties and methods, then a list of objects is really just a one-dimensional list where each element is another one-dimensional list, which is therefore like a two-dimensional array that is familiar. Okay, even as I say that, that sounds like I just made it more confusing, but let's visualize it and hopefully this will help. It'll be over in a second. Okay, here's a typical class of an object called customers. Okay, typically each property is akin to a field in a data table, but list of customers isn't the same as like just a simple list of first names. But let's see how this really is just as simple as a spreadsheet. Okay, remove all the C# property syntax and just a string of values to track. So far, so good? Okay, and then if you have more than one, you could just stack or list them like this. You have multiple of them. Now, this is almost exactly like a conventional spreadsheet that we're used to, if we just flip it 90 degrees, which logically is irrelevant, doesn't matter logically whether the rows are columns or the columns are rows. And so you get something like this. So before, after, same thing, right? Good. Now, this is just what we did after we rotated it 90 degrees. Same old data as we always had as before. Row 1 is list of customer 0, because lists are 0 base. Row 2 is just the list customer element 1, etc. Nothing more than that. And so there you have it. We're done. A list of objects, like list of customers, is just a two-dimensional array with each element being a separate list of the properties for that row or element. And that's why forms, WPF GUI, graphic user interface controls, like list views and data grids, can take the list of customers directly. They're expecting a two-dimensional entity, but a bound text box needs a single object, like current customer equals list of customers number 4, because it can only get its hands around a one-dimensional row of the data. Okay, hopefully that explains it and makes life a little bit easier, and I thank you for watching.